It's very difficult to take a nation that's this big and this complex and to give everyone access to a shared experience. One thing we could do is to have mandatory national service. I don't think it's moral to make someone fight a war they don't believe in, but it's completely moral to ask people to contribute a year, 2 years of their lives to the common good. I think that's completely moral, and in fact, I think it's desirable. Psychologists will tell you that the more you sacrifice for something, the more you value it. And the problem in the United States, which is so wealthy and protected, is that the nation actually doesn't ask for any sacrifice from anyone. And as a result, at least unconsciously, I think people undervalue their citizenship. It's an incredible privilege to be a citizen of this country. We're very, very lucky. I think one of the reasons veterans tend to be quite patriotic is because they actually have sacrificed. I remember when I was in Afghanistan with American soldiers out at this little outpost called Bistrepo, one of the guys, he remarked how weird it was that there were guys in the platoon who hated each other, but they'd all die for each other. Membership in a community, particularly a community in a situation where there's like real danger, where there's real adversity, membership in a community actually can't depend on friendship because friendship's too variable. But what you do need is to have an acknowledged common allegiance to the same goals, to the same shared fate, and that creates a very strong group. So ultimately what you need is a community that defines itself in a certain way and where everyone in the community acknowledges that part of their energy, part of their life energy, part of their time will be devoted towards keeping the community healthy and good and safe and connected. Probably the single thing that's most affected the outcome of my life is the education that I've gotten. I had an amazing education starting in grade school, and that education includes exposure to my parents. My mother's a painter, an artist. My father passed away a few years ago. He was a physicist. He was a very, very educated man. He grew up in Europe, and I grew up in a household full of books. And I read a lot. At Wesleyan, down the road from Amherst, I had a classic liberal arts education. I majored in anthropology. It completely shaped the way I see the world, which of course is quite important if you're a journalist. Journalism has changed a lot since I was young. What worked for me and what has worked for a lot of people that I know is that I literally got on an airplane and went overseas. I went to Bosnia. There was a civil war in Bosnia, and I just went. And if there's one piece of advice that I would give people, it's that if you don't invest in yourself, no one else will. You have to buy that first plane ticket. Do what you have to do, get whatever job you have to get, save up some money, and just go do the thing that is the most compelling thing you can think of.